to Small Business Saturday.
Welcome to Small Business Saturdays video series with your host and my husband.
And my dad, Aaron Montgomery.
Join the conversation.
Let's talk some business.
Start over. All right. Good morning, everybody. Didn't have my sound on there, but hopefully you can hear me now. So forgot to click one button. Always something. It's great stuff as we build and grow and learn here. So anyways, welcome to Small Business Saturdays. I am excited to talk to you today about finding your niche. Last week, we talked about the customer experience and how that worked out and what that meant. And yesterday on the Two Regular Guys podcast, we had Monty Mims from Sanmar on, and he echoed a lot of the sentiments that I had about customer experience the week before. So really good stuff. You can go listen to that at tworegularguys.com. But as I said, today we're going to talk about finding your niche. This is a topic that I've actually covered extensively in different segments. I don't think we've ever specifically had during Small Business Saturdays a finding your niche deal, but I know we talked about it a lot during the developing a business plan section. We talked about it a lot in that marketing part there. In the digital marketing thing that I did, we've talked about it extensively on the Two Regular Guys podcast. So if you guys don't know by now that I am a big fan of niche marketing, then you're hiding under a rock. But today I want to go a little bit deeper into it. What I want to do is kind of talk strategy, which we've covered a little bit. I'm going to go a little deeper into that, but then I'm going to talk about some specific ways to find your niche and, allow us to get into that a little bit deeper. So, are we ready to dive in today? And again, Cheryl, good morning. Good to see you. Hopefully you're doing well, getting excited for Las Vegas. I will see you out there. I can't wait to see you and get a chance. Maybe we'll do a quick live video together or something like that. Have some fun. But SJA Las Vegas coming up next week. Excited to head out to that. All right, so let's talk about finding your niche. The reason that I want to talk about this, and again, like I said, I've talked about this extensively. So if I'm repeating myself, deal with it. No, I'm just kidding. If I'm repeating myself, it's just because it's very important to me. But the reason I always talk about this, and the reason I think this is a huge thing for all small businesses to do and to really own, is because it allows you to sell on your value. You're not competing price to price, because if you have a niche, your price is what your price is. People are going to come to you because you can solve a problem for them that's specific. So you don't have to be the lowest price guy. Now, if you're gouging, that's a different story, but you can sell on your value, sell what you're worth to your customers if you have a good, strong niche that you've defined and owned. So how do we look at this a little bit differently? One of the things that we've talked about in the past is the blue versus green ocean theories. And I'm going to talk about that here today as well. So let's define that really quick. And this is basically how people are looking at niche marketing and finding your niche is by kind of these two different things. So a green ocean would be a section of the ocean where there's a ton of fish. It's a lot of stuff going on. Everybody's doing it. And you're just trying to shout as loudly as you can and hope that people are going to find you. But what we really want to do is we want to carve out and find a section of that ocean that's blue. We're the only fish there. We're the ones that are at the top of the heap. So we're not yelling. We're just sharing. We're in our own little area. So it's a segment where no competition can touch you. What you are known for, what people think about you when they think about your business. So we're looking for a blue ocean segment. And so how do we do that? Well, a lot of the advice out there is to follow your passion. And trust me, I get that. I don't know if you can see it here, but somewhere right over here on this, now you're not going to be able to see it on this, I don't think, but passion. I'm passionate about a lot of things, and following your passion is definitely something that's important, but it's a bit of a cautionary tale as well. So I don't know if you guys have heard of a gentleman by the name of Mike Rowe. Probably, I would guess most of you have heard of him. He was the host of a program on the Discovery Channel called Dirty Jobs. And he's a really interesting guy. I really like listening to him. He's got some new stuff he's doing on Facebook and things like that. But not terribly long ago, I can't remember exactly when, he gave a commencement speech. And he really made an interesting, maybe even controversial comment during that, where he said, don't follow your passion, never follow your passion. So what his quote was, though, is it said, don't follow your passion, but bring it with you. Meaning, if you're following your passion, it's very fickle. It could be something that, yes, it's really passionate to you, but is it going to make you a success in your business, in your career, et cetera, et cetera? Maybe not, because just because you're passionate about something doesn't mean you're really great at that thing. I'll give you an example of me. For example, my passion for a long time has always been volleyball. Love volleyball, watch it all the time, drives my wife crazy sometimes that I sit and spend an entire weekend watching Amazon Prime with the Association of Volleyball Professionals going on in the background. So again, huge passion of mine, but I'm not the best at it. To reach a point where you can actually make a decent living as a male volleyball player, you have to be one of the top maybe 100 players in the country. And I'm 6 feet tall. Most of these guys are 6'8", 6'9", 7 foot, and are still as athletic, if not more athletic than I was. So I was never going to be the best at that. That didn't take away the passion I had for it any. I also explored coaching. In fact, I spent, I think it was about 3 years. I moved to Boston for 3 years because there were so many schools in one place. I figured I could get into college volleyball coaching that way. And I went all in. I moved out there. I was coaching 4 different teams, a couple of high school teams, a couple of college teams, and was just all in. And it was awesome. But it also didn't pay the bills. I was not going to get to that level where it was going to pay the bills. So I didn't let that passion die, but I realized I was not going to be able to make a living to someday have a family and pay for that family and things like that, following my passion. So use that as kind of a cautionary tale. Yes, we want to incorporate our passions into our business, but let's not follow it. Let's just let it help guide us in certain things and maybe lead us to certain other areas where we can be more successful. So that's one thing with your niche marketing. Cheryl agrees that passion is key, and absolutely 100% agree with that. But like I said, just don't let it take over and get in the way of fogging your decisions about, hey, I'm passionate about this, so this is going to automatically be successful. Well, can you be the best at that? There may be a lot of people that are passionate about it, but there are a lot of people that are passionate about volleyball. Was I able to get to that pinnacle level? No. Do I love it any less? No. So there's passion. So how do we find what our niche is going to be? How do we discover where we're going to carve out our little blue ocean segment? Well, one thing that I've talked about before, and I think this is a great way to go about it. My friend Terry Combs uses this method a lot for a lot of things, and I love it, and I use it a lot myself now. And basically just sits down with a yellow legal pad or whatever, sits down and writes out 10 to 20 things. Just not a lot of thought being put into it. Just kind of like, okay, what could my niche be? Going through the list of things like, current customers that I really enjoy doing business with. What kinds of things am I doing for them? Things that you enjoy making. Maybe you hate making A, but you love making B. So maybe that's your niche there. So just really quickly kind of list all of these things out. Passionate things that you're passionate about. List those things that you do better than anybody else. What is it that is your unique skill set that makes you stand out? And I don't care who you are, and I don't care if you think that you don't have something that makes you stand out. You absolutely do. Everybody does. You just have to find that. You just have to believe in yourself and a lot of times those things that you're passionate about, the things that you enjoy doing, those are also the things that you are better than anybody else at. So don't be too down on yourself. You absolutely, I don't care who you are, what you're doing. There is one thing that you do better than anybody else. So within that group of all those things that I just mentioned, I'm racing through here because I want to get all this great stuff in for you. In that list, you're going to write all these things out. After you've done that, you go back to that list and you really start thinking about each one of them. And I bet in that list of 20 things, you're going to find a couple of gems in there that really kind of speak to you. So that's a really great way to kind of get this started. So now we've kind of starting to feel out what our niche is and what our niche market's going to be. We're really kind of feeling good about these things. So let me kind of back that up a little bit and kind of give you an example. Maybe you got into this to sell shirts. That was why you got into our industry, why you got into the business, is you wanted to sell shirts. You saw other people doing it, looked fun, looked easy, whatever the case may be. That is green. That's green ocean. You want to sell shirts. Think about who your competitors are. Custom Ink. I can't go and watch a television show without running across a Custom Ink ad on television. Maybe your competitor is also Amazon. They've got Amazon merch and they're pumping out shirts now. Your competitors are every single other screen printer out there. Again, big, huge segment. Are you going to be able to outspend them? A Super Bowl ad costs $5 million just for this 30-second TV spot. Do you have that? Are you going to be able to outspend those folks? So selling shirts can't be your niche. So what we want to do is we want to take that piece, that big wide piece, and we want to narrow it down into a little bit more of a funnel. So what makes us better than Custom Ink or Amazon? Maybe it's that we're local. We're there in the community. Maybe our thing is sustainability. We're only using products that are sustainable. We're all about it. We're giving back. We're recycling. We're doing all these amazing things for our planet. Great stuff. I mentioned giving back. Maybe we're giving back more. Maybe we have something, maybe we lost a loved one to breast cancer. It's October, so it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So maybe everything we make, a little bit of that goes back into that research or something, some way to give back. Maybe you have art services. A lot of people, when they come up with their great idea for a t-shirt or whatever they're needing, it's probably over a meal. It's probably sketched out on a napkin. And I'm sure if you've been selling shirts for a while, you've had somebody come to you and say, here's what I want, and here's my napkin. Well, they're not going to take that to Custom Ink. They're not going to take that to Amazon. They're going to take it to somebody like you that can help them make that vision into actually something that can be printed and really makes them feel good. So, narrow that down. What makes you better? Okay. So now we've got it narrowed down, but I think we're still kind of in a green category. A lot of those things are a lot of the things that other people can and do as well. So let's narrow it down even more. Now we're looking at things like, okay, so we're local, maybe we're really big into youth sports. Maybe the future of our world is so important to us that that's what we're really about. Maybe we're able to help them with fundraising activities, set them up an online store where all they have to do is send people there and you're making shirts for them. There's enough profit margin that everybody gets a little piece of that pie. Maybe you have other services that you provide. Maybe you can not only provide shirts, but you can provide a coffee mug or whatever the case may be. Maybe you're really involved in a part of the community. You're going to Rotary activities. What are the things that get you even further down that rabbit hole into, this is me, nobody else can touch me. This is my blue ocean segment right here. Nobody else can touch that. So, I'll go back to my volleyball example. If I was a garment decorator, an active garment decorator, that might be an area where I want to go because I am still so passionate about volleyball that I know all the rules that go along with it. So if a team is competing in USAV, which stands for United States of America Volleyball Association, that I need I think it's a 6-inch. I said I knew all about these things, but the rules may have changed. That you need a 6-inch number on the left chest, it can't be centered, and that you need a 10-inch number centered on the back. And those are the requirements for participating. So you know all about that. You have stock. You know that, hey, I don't want to put a big piece of vinyl right here on the center of a volleyball jersey, because when somebody goes to dive forward and they hit that wood floor playing volleyball and that vinyl sticks and they whack their face into the ground, they're not going to be real happy with that uniform. So again, I know everything about this little segment. So refine it down to that. Refine it down to that area, again, where I've got the specific quote up here, where no competition can touch you, what you are known for. Okay. So refine it down to that. And now you have your blue ocean. All right. So this is going to do a lot for us, because it's going to guide us. It's going to tell us where you're going to promote. You know, you don't need to go out and have a Super Bowl ad, because I don't need to touch billions of eyeballs. I need to touch 100 eyeballs that are interested in my little segment. You know, so now we can go spend, instead of spending $5 million on a Super Bowl ad, like Custom Ink or Amazon or whoever, we can now go and spend $25 on a Facebook ad within our group or community that we've already been a part of. It also helps us define our message. You know, if volleyball uniforms for youth sports as fundraisers is your thing, then that's the message you want to be putting out there. That doesn't mean that that's all you're ever going to do. You know, Susie on the volleyball team probably has brother John that maybe plays lacrosse, and Susie's volleyball team loves working with you so much. You've helped them so much that Susie's parents say, hey, John's coach for the lacrosse team, if you need uniforms or you need bags, I work with Aaron Montgomery. He's amazing. And now all of a sudden, because you are the best at your segment, other people are coming to you. They're attracted to the best. You own that segment. You're the best. Before on this show, I've actually played a clip from Brett Bowden of Printed Threads in Fort Worth. And that's what they've done. They've owned the band merch area. But that's not all that they do now. You know, they're printing shirts for the Dallas Mavericks, the NBA basketball team, things like that. So own that niche, find that niche, and there we go. So anybody questions? I got one here. Martha, good morning. Hopefully you are doing well. Ashley, thank you so much for joining. And Cheryl, I really appreciate the kind words. Right back at you. Cheryl is awesome as well. I love collaborating with her. Doing some amazing things. What else do you got over there, Kylene? Kylene's my wife, and she's helping me this morning. Cheryl, thank you. This is, again, as you can tell, as I'm flying through, screaming this stuff out, it's something I'm so passionate about. I love this part of our business. I love being able to help people find where they can do the best with what they do. You know, what makes you the best, and find that. And I absolutely 100% believe that everybody, every single person in the whole wide world has something that they are the very best at. You just might not have found it yet. So spend some time searching, writing, thinking, getting away from your day-to-day jobs of the business, and go ahead and really take the time to find what you're going to be best at. All right. So any questions? Ashley, thank you for joining us. Debbie, hi, how are you? Good to see you. Anybody else in there? Anybody got questions? Anybody wanted to share what their niche is? Love to hear that as well. So you guys are awesome. I so appreciate you joining me this morning. Cheryl says, I would love to put that quote on a plaque. Cheryl, let's do it. We got several quotes that we need to dig out of there. So let's do it. And I will display it for the world to see. Speaking of things I need to display, Cheryl, I'm going off on a tangent here, but we did a Facebook Live together in Cheryl's group not too long ago, and we were talking about mermaid tails. And I promised that I would post a picture of me in the mermaid tail, and I've been remiss. So I do have that picture. In fact, I got my son to join me in the youth version. So I will try to get over to Cheryl's Facebook group today and post that picture of me in the mermaid tail. So you guys can enjoy. Please just keep it in the group. All right. I don't need it to go too far out into the world. All right. Anything else before we kind of call it a morning? About 20 minutes through today. thank you guys so much for joining me. I'm going to hang tight for 1 second here. All right. So last thing before we get out of here, actually two things. We're scrolling get connected down at the bottom. So obviously go there. That gets you signed up for my email and for information. I'm going to get an email blast out this weekend. So latest and greatest, I've got some seminars coming up at SGA that I want you to know about, but a whole bunch of other stuff that I always share each month there. So that's going out soon. The other thing I want you to do though, is I really, like I said, this topic of finding your niche is something I really love. And I love exploring that with people. So if you want, totally up to you, not a homework assignment like we did with the business plan development, but if you'd like, you can email me, Aaron@montcoconsulting.com. I'll get a link back into the video a little bit later here. And email me there and email me what your niche is or what you're thinking about. Maybe give me your list and tell me where you're struggling. Where do you need to go? You know, and let's explore that together. I'd love to do that. No charge, totally free, because I'm passionate about it. Again, it's not going to make me successful, but if I can help you, I think maybe down the road, we can all be successful together. So anything else before we get out of here? Kylene, are we good? Covered it all? Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful rest of your Saturday and the rest of your weekend. And hopefully I will see all of you guys at SGA. I'll be there Wednesday through Friday, and then I'll be back with Small Business Saturday. In fact, I'll be doing a recap of the SGA event, all of my takes and everything that I got out of being at the event on next week's Small Business Saturday, same time, 11:30 a.m. Eastern time, 8:30 a.m. Pacific time. Everybody else in the middle of that. So I'm trying to do it same time every week so you guys can show up and know we're going to be here. Awesome. Have a great week, and we'll talk to you next week.